아직도 숙취가... 의뢰인가? 미안한데 사무소 안에 다른 사람한테 부탁...
Greetings and salutations everyone, I'm Ekamek, this is Limbus Company Mirror Dungeon of the Lake. In our previous episode, we tackled the Bleed team. Yeah, we use an LCB Sinner in our main roster, what's it to you? Nails, Bleed... You'd think that a team with a lot of Encore would be a Bleed team, but actually they fit better into the Burn team. But that's the whole pivot strategy, isn't it? Today, we're tackling Tremor. Tremor is, Bell of Truth. And Melty Eyeball. Blood, Sweat and Tears is actually what we should be picking, but I'm going with these two because they're both rare gifts. Anyway, the Tremor team... I should probably get into Sinner deployment before I talk about what we're going to get into with the Tremor team. Also, I finally changed out that loading screen artwork. Tremor teams rely mainly on blunt damage, so we might... I don't want to mess with Encore on turn 1 though. So, this is not my usual Tremor team anyway. So, let's start off at the top. We have the 3 best Tremor units that we currently have. That is, we have Regret, Forced, Rospanarodian, and Molar Office Utus. They're all very nice to have. Up in the corner here, we also have Molar Office Yi Sang. He's pretty decent. He rolls pretty high on some of his coin flips. The person who first made the guide actually would have gone with Encore Don Quixote if not for one specific thing. Regret. Regret is a very strong Tremor ego, but the passive makes it extremely busted. The leftmost skill on the dashboard loses 1 base power but gains 2 coin power. 1 base power, so that's 3. Plus 2 coin power, that's plus 4. And the thing is, this also gets a plus 1 at high Tremor, and this is a Tremor count. This is a Tremor team. So basically, we're flipping plus 5 across 4 coins. 23. This thing can cap at 23. It's ridiculous. The downside... This is a Walpurgis not ego, so it's quite possible not to have. Don Quixote can still be pretty good, despite being Encore. Her passive is that if the target has nails, inflict Tremor count. I haven't gotten her to up tie 4 yet, but it basically means that she has 2 nails, so most of her puts 2 nails down instead of 1. Which means that, aside from skill 2, everything is really good at maintaining nails on a single target, so she does have her advantages when bosses come around. And if she gets off a single skill 1 on her target, then she is going to get this. Heads hit. If target has 5 nails, inflict 1 attack power down next turn, and 2 paralyze. Also worth noting, Hex Nail. Inflict 3 nails on a heads hit, or just inflict 3 nails on a corrosion hit. So she'd just need to win 1 coin flip there. Anyway, if you have a fairly decent pride, if you have a fairly decent poise, it might be worth considering bringing in LCCB Ryoshu, but I wouldn't count on it. double application of Tremor, potency, and count. So she'd get 8 potency and 4 count and then instantly burst it. But it's just not as good as what we can get here. LCCB Ishmael is not a good unit. But she's really good at Tremor count. 16 Tremor plus 4 plus 2 count. By the end of it, she's very good at getting everything racked up. But anyway, main point. Let's muscle our way through some encounters. Apparently you're supposed to just be able to hit win rate and then do that every time, and that makes these runs go quite nicely. So the disadvantage of our starting gifts is that we don't have anything that makes it easy to maintain Tremor on our targets. Which is why we have LCCB Ishmael, I guess.
힘 조절이.
탈출 개체 확인. 표적 완전 무력화. 걸려라.
Ooh, that reminds me. Envy is actually an extremely rare resource on this team, so
탈출 개체가 점유되었습니다.
hope that Rodion is getting up in the front of a lot.
탈출 개체가 점유되었습니다.
Ishmael does not look well.
제압을 준비합니다.
But at least we aren't constantly seeing Ryoshu leering at people being grounded up into bloody mess, right? Now the thing about this build that I remember seeing on the guide is that it's very blunt heavy, so against enemies that are weak to blunt, you're great. But if they aren't weak to blunt, the goal is actually to use Sun Shower to start it off, and then the actual staggering effects should make the rest of the movement.
탈출 개체 확인. 확인 사살. 표적 무력화. 개체가 약화된 것 같습니다. 탈출 개체가
힘들군.
점유되었습니다.
그러니
탈출
알아서
개체가
잘 피해야지.
점유되었습니다.
Okay, what's in the indistinguishable space? It's the sheep! It's a dark cityscape, but the buildings are well lit. It appears they are powered by the massive buzzing cloud at the center. The cloud has a head and 2 pairs of legs. It resembles a sheep. The electric sheep seems to be in pain. Is it being siphoned of its power? Cut the cables. The buildings are blacked out in an instant. The electric sheep dashed off into the distance, propelling a thunderous cry. In the unlit town, weeps of lightless fill the air. A tiny object rests where the electric sheep once was. Yeah, after defeating an enemy with Envy or Slash, raise the unit's Slash skill power by 2. When activating Absolute Resonance, all allies gain 2 offense and defense at the start of combat. The problem is we don't actually have much in the way of Envy in our team, so the sheep isn't much use, but it's nice to have. The dispenser's hum fills the air. We know what it wants, it knows what we want. So tomorrow's fortune is good. Oh, but Rodion is up for a skill replacement. I actually want to change one of her rev up to let's. I want to go straight from skill 1 to skill 3 just to give her better ND generation. Carmilla is decent. If it's non-focused encounter, all enemies take damage equal to 20% of max HP. It doesn't help with bosses, but for trash mobs, that's gonna speed things up quite a bit. The Endorphin Kit gives us poise. Gives us bonus poise. I think I want to refresh and hope for a Tremor gift. Ooh. Turn end. Inflict 2 bind to enemies with 10 Tremor potency. If they have 20 Tremor potency, apply 2 bind and 1 paralyze instead. We still haven't gotten any of the good gifts for maintaining our Tremor effects, but right now we're set up quite nicely to absolutely flatten anything that has the misfortune to get tremored. Okay, you. We don't care. And the boss is already staggered. Unfortunately, we had a lot of bad luck there. And of course he's the one to get the bonus SP, why wouldn't he be? The thing is, Mersault has not been doing well on his speed, which is unfortunate because he rolls 3 to 10.
뭐 문제라도 있나?
다른 작업이 필요한가요?
아직은 이상 요청이라도
Wow, he is the fastest sinner in the team, but he hasn't gotten into any clashes to get SP. So yeah, one of the bonuses for mirror dungeons is that one of the starlight upgrades for mirror dungeons is that you can raise the max speed of your sinners. This is useful for people that have speed-based passives like a lot of Don Quixote's identities or the Rabbit Heathcliff. The downside is that it makes it much harder to rely on certain characters acting in certain order. I think I messed up somewhere. Give me... Let's just get the extra ego because we might need to start burning a lot when we get to the end. Wait, no, my bad. I was thinking of something else. Okay, so if we want to upgrade our gifts, we have to go via the top route. But we don't have much in the way of gifts that we'd want to upgrade is the problem. But yeah, I was thinking, wait, isn't there supposed to be someone else on this team? But no, we actually don't take that Tremor identity into this group because they're part of the Rupture team. Kasplat.
한바탕 해볼까?
대체가 약화되는 것 같습니다. 탈출 대체가 정리되었습니다.
그러니 알아서 잘 피해야지.
외근 시작합니다.
Yeah, so one thing that I haven't really drawn attention to, but some of these Picatulum are actually a lot more dangerous than others. Specifically, Array are the ones that always give me problems because of Explosive Wrath. This is a 5 attack that gets a plus 10. When you get into later levels of the dungeon, it's going to get increasingly harder to clash with these guys. Similarly, Bursting Gloom has this tendency to get out of hand damage-wise very quickly, but it's always the Irrité that give me trouble. I mean, this is certainly a start, right? Yeah, plus 5 offense level means that they're often going to get clashing bonuses. Fortunately, we can afford this. Yeah, let's guard that.
그렇게 하죠.
The downside is that they are actually quite glass cannons, so if they don't win the clash, then they're in trouble. Well, the downside for them, not for me.
오산이 세진 않나 모르겠어.
걸려라.
No, I don't trust it.
교전 시작합니다.
어려울 것도 없었어.
표적 완전 무력화. 제압 완료.
If I wanted to actually follow the daily patterns, I actually am. If I keep uploading on a daily basis, just get the voodoo doll. If I keep uploading on a daily basis, then I'll actually be uploading that day's thread excavation equal to whatever team I'm running through them. Okay. Oh, ooh, damp and slippery. This is the Emerald Forest. The green rain was pouring down, seeming quite sticky. You see someone next to you holding a large piece of grass like an umbrella. Oh dear, I'd advise being hit by this rain. Come on, get under this umbrella, all of you. If you stand in the rain, you might melt down head first. If you pick this, then you get into a fight and get nothing. If you pick this, then there is a chance of taking damage, but this is how you get the ego gift. Gluttony Gloom Advantage. You're up, Rodian. Declining the offer, we pressed on in the rain. While running, you noticed something in your hand. Perhaps it's the serendipity of staying out of that umbrella. Ego gift, 4-leaf clover earned.
이런 건 누워서 떡 먹기지.
And it's not a boss fight, it's just another matchup against a bunch of Pekatulum. But unless you've got an ego gift that rewards you, I generally tend to try for my luck with the skill check anyway. So, we don't have too much that could be enhanced, but... So we can boost the damage that they take at the start. We can boost the envy damage and the power range. I kind of want to go for the Bell of Truth. This does mean that we can't fuse it away, but I feel like this is probably worth it. Inflict 1 fragile this turn and next turn. Inflict 2 fragile this turn and next turn when affected by a Tremor Burst. So, yeah. We can't upgrade anything else, but do we really need to? Incidentally, like I suggested earlier, Sloth is the element that we want to fuse if we want to get Tremor gifts. And Sloth is a very favourite element of this team, which is why being PS weak Sloth boss is not good for the boss.
돈 벌러 가자.
Ooh, it's the Slithering Inquisitors.
가자.
There are so many gifts I could really use to make my life easier for sticking down this Tremor.
표적 확인.
이 구석구가 나의 폭력을 저지하기엔 턱없이 모자라지.
Ooh, that was a bad clash to lose against Forced.
걸려라.
Okay, let's think about this. I don't think there's actually any tremor on this guy that Ishmael could blow up, so let's just go all in on hammering this boss into the ground.
탈출 개체 확인.
이 스며들 듯한 비 우산이 새지나 않나 모르겠어.
확인 사살.
Okay, you appear to be quite angry. You appear to be quite vulnerable. Oh boy. We don't even need Rodian to chip in because everything else has happened. He can break that arm all on his own. Like I said, Regret Rose Banner is a dangerous combination.
끝나갈 조짐이 보이는군요.
Actually, something that I don't think I've ever really looked at is passives for these guys. I just sort of know by now what to expect.
표적 확인.
And now we won't ever get to because that one died. Behavior changes based on the count of instincts. Uses aggressive skills when at 4 or higher, becomes defensive at 0. At the start of turn, if at less than 50%, inflict 3 poison when attacked. After the part is broken, if the other arm is not broken at the end of the following turn, this part regenerates with the same HP as it. Now here's the problem. After breaking both arms, it's just going on a very toxic stick poison down on everyone. Take 10 fixed damage, then half the count. It's not particularly fun to deal with. Now here's the question, do I think I'm going to kill it this turn?
가자.
하나 마무리했습니다.
And right before forced, I was very tempted to use Fluid Sac to try and heal up off all the damage. I'm very glad I didn't, that would have been a waste of resources. So what do we have? So I have two options. I can go for the nebulizer because we actually do have decent pride skills and a decent chance of getting this off. Or we can go for Helterfly's dream so we don't run into Helterfly later in the dungeon. I think when all is said and done... Sloth is the element that we don't want to lose, so I think I'll take the melted spring and sell it later. Although you could also say the same thing about Wrath. The dispenser's hum fills the air. We know. So, Voracious Hammer and Golden Urn and Milepost of Survival, these are all good for picking up cost. The problem is we're halfway through the dungeon, so we don't have much use for them. Man, this is a very stingy refresh. Let's just take the illusory hunt into recoup our losses. It does give out 2 damage up at the start of a focused encounter. That is pretty decent. It's Talisman Doll. We can either aim for one gift we're guaranteed to get, or aim for a choice of gifts, but no guarantee of getting it. I think we actually want to take this way because we're desperately low on cost.
침착하게.
This team has not been particularly lucky with its Tremor gifts because while we're getting plenty of benefits for inflicting Tremor Burst, we actually don't have any way to properly maintain Tremor on the target like we did with our Bleed team or the Burn teams. That said, Rodian is having a lot of fun with her her double skill 3 because that gets to burst twice and put down 2 fragile, so she gets to exploit her own fragile. This is why I don't trust the win rate. You know what? We're not going to get a better time than this. Yeah, as you can see, Gloom is actually also a bit of an element that we rely on. It's just that Sloth is what we're getting all the bonus damage from because of Mola Utus.
이 전투는 승리할 거예요. 교전 시작합니다. 표적 완전
Never trust the win rate.
한바탕 해볼까?
어려울 것도 없었어.
We didn't get a gift.
시작합니다.
Man, even after the fluid sac heal, you are still missing quite a bit of HP.
힘들군. 그러니 알아서 잘 피해야지.
이 구석구가 나의 폭력을 저지하게.
I love that it has Yesod's brooch on it, that ego. That's a very important detail that they didn't need, but I'm still glad is there.
제압 완료.
그렇게 하죠.
제대로 찝었군. 대체가 약화되는 것 같습니다. 탈출 개체가 정리되었습니다. 대체가 약화되는 것 같습니다.
하나 마무리했습니다.
Wow, we don't have any cost. All those refreshes were a bad idea. There had better be good stuff on the final floor for us, I can say that much.
좋은 경험이 되기를.
Oh well, this is just a pushover fight, isn't it?
한바탕 해볼까?
않는 사살. 걸려라. 대체가 약화되는 것 같습니다. 가자. 제압 완료.
침착하게.
걸려라. 자, 한 건 했고.
힘들군.
I'll give that last one was certainly a bit bulkier than I was expecting. Took a lot more hits than I thought he would have. Ooh, okay, both of these are good. I think Sunshower is something we might call a little bit more good, but... Okay, Slash Lust. Who's the choice of enemy this time?
잠깐만, 천천히.
Oh, it's Papa Bongi. So, yeah, he is definitely weak to Lust and Envy. His mooks are also additionally weak to Slash. If memory serves, the Chicken Bucket has different resistances though. Yeah, it's weak to Pierce. And it's only weak to Lust. Anyway, the problem that these guys have. At the end of turn, deal 3 SP damage to a random enemy. At the end of turn, heal 5 HP for each raw chicken in battle. When a part breaks, gain 1 fragile for each raw chicken that died before the part was broken. While not broken, gain 1 damage up for each raw chicken. Also, this one doesn't look different, but this head chicken. At the end of turn, apply 2 damage up and 2 protection to all allies next turn. We want this guy to die immediately. Also, you have some very powerful skills that we don't particularly want you to get off. Yeah, that rolls 8 to 16. It's not fun to be hit in the face with that. Just checking.
가슴 가장 깊은 곳까지 박히도록. 걸려라. 자, 한 건 했고.
No, I don't particularly want him to give out 2 damage up and 2 protection up every turn. This was actually the boss of the first seasonal event. You can tell that they weren't quite sure how to balance everything yet because the amount of grinding you had to do for it was absolutely obscene. You were forced to use identities in order to get the maximum grind amounts that weren't particularly good. You were forced to use the Lifetime Stew Ego for Sinclair, which was very much not good. Yeah, they got their act together for future grind events. Anyway, target the unit with the least SP On hit, spawn a raw chicken. So yeah, we definitely don't want him to get to use that. Unfortunately, we might have a choice. Yeah, we got unlucky with our speed rolls. 2 to 5. For some reason, the entire he decided to roll a 5, and we just don't have the speed to do anything else. So I want to make sure that he deals as little damage with this as possible. So what ego gives us the most lust resistance? This one.
그렇게 하죠. 이 구속구가 나의 폭력을 저지하기엔 턱없이 모자르지.
We were going so quickly, and then things went wrong. Although that said, that massive stagger effect means that his bucket exploded the moment we started hitting it. We can't take that one-sided, but... Oh yeah, he's mad. He's using 2 of his 4 coin skills on the same turn. I wish Ishmael was just a little bit faster on this identity. 2 to 8 isn't good for her, but I really want that 5 fragile to go first, and she keeps going last.
탈출 개체 확인.
So effervescent corrosion, only really good for a Tremor team. But this is ego extracted from Rambling Pearl, if you remember that from the Refraction Railway.
확인 사살. 표적 완전 무력화.
And you are cooked. Okay, so what do we have here? We have a lot of interesting things, actually. So, standard duty battery is definitely the best gift, but I never trust giving the enemy speed boosts. It's just not a good idea. Out of everything, I think Midwinter Nightmare. This isn't a sinking team, but 3 sinking potency on every hit is going to be more productive in the future than it gaining plus rock. Actually, we have Ishmael. Thunder Branch is actually worth it. Granted, the 3 sinking is still pretty decent, But I want to see what we can do when she gets her skill 3 with Thunder Branch. So, what's the plot for this course? We'll take the top road. Although we want to go via the blunt, risky encounter, but yeah,
시작합니다.
I'll see you when I get to the vendor.
교전 시작합니다.
이 구석구가 나의 폭력을 저지하기엔 턱없이 모자라지.
Carmilla is actually proving to be a lot of help. The thing is, eating through a percentage of their HP bar right at the start of a fight, that's really good.
무력화. 대체가
It pushed all these guys right next to their stagger threshold, meaning that this turn we can hit them unopposed.
가자. 확인 사살. 표적 완전 무력화. 제압 완료.
어려울 것도 없었어.
Now the downside to doing that with these guys, every time a middle ally is killed in this encounter, gain 1 offense level up. Clash lose, gain a minus coin boost. When a middle ally is killed, gain plus coin boost. So these guys have a lot of plus coin power now. That said, I'm pretty sure we can kill them.
해볼까?
어려울 것도 없었어.
Oh. Maybe not as well as I'd liked though. Mersault is actually starting to look a little bit shaky on his HP. Even though he started with a lot of HP. Sticky Muck. Yeah, he's been knocked down, not past half his health, but he's gotten kind of close to it.
잠깐만.
Anyway, skim ahead until we get to the next mystery node. Okay, that's pretty funny.
교전 시작합니다. 이 전투는 승리할 거예요.
힘들군. 그러니 알아서 잘 피해야지.
걸려라. 제대로 찝었군.
그렇게 하죠.
자, 한 건 했고.
힘들군. 그러니 알아서 잘 피해야지.
Okay, what's waiting for... Ooh, this one. Huh. There is an entity bound to this extravagantly ornamented chair. It appears as though the entity is shooting a stern glare this way. It tries to say something, but its mouth is bound. The king on the throne twists and thrashes, trying to approach, but the things that bind him drag him away. The beautiful yet cruel crimson strips of fabric, they pull mercilessly. They are... I don't know, what are they? I'm looking at the thing... So, if we say bandages, we have to beat a fairly substantial skill check. We can do it though, we have the right types. Chains is a lot more merciful and it gives us 3 levels. Now here's the question, do I want this ego gift? Because it's the final floor and I don't really need more ego resources. You need to see how hard this one is to beat. Bandages. Pride Wrath advantage. 15 with a similar affinity. If we find some... Yeah. Otherwise we're trying to beat a 30 threshold. This is ridiculous. That said, Wrath has 2 of the best skill check beating skills in the game, so yeah. Bandages made to heal. But he will bleed out as soon as those bandages are undone. To maintain his shape, he must remain bound. Ego gift, grand welcome earned.
보조업무로 수행하기에 나쁘지 않은 일이네요.
Encounter start. Gain 5 pride ego. When an enemy dies, gain 2 pride ego and 1 ego for 2 other random affinities. So get that early in a run and you're in a pretty good spot. Anyway, skim through this battle.
명령 대기.
I should stop going after these fights, but I really want to pick up a Tremor gift. Scarlet Moths for extra damage. Okay, what's this last question mark? Oh no, it's you again. So, Cyclops. We could actually do it on this one as well. But if we tell him it's nothing, then we get cost and we're about to hit some... I don't really care about the ego gift, I'm sorry, but... Okay, Otis, good luck.
좀 김이 빠지는데.
Random ally deals 10% damage. They deal extra damage every time they hit someone. If they take HP damage, the gift expires. Next turn start, apply this gift effect to another ally. What a time for a plane to fly overhead. Anyway, Grey Coat is actually not that bad, especially since it heals for Gloom Affinity. This would have helped Mersault stay ahead of the slight drop in his HP. So would Phlebotomy Pack, but I probably don't need both, so... 1 refresh. That's all I'm giving myself. 2 refreshes. That's all I'm giving myself. Okay, this is a lost cause, but I'll get the lowest star. When hitting an enemy with blunt or pride, inflict SP damage. This is useless, but we can at least upgrade him from settled task to forced break. I should have sold that Throne of Welcome because we don't need more resources by this point. We should have, but I just don't because I like what I'm doing here. Okay, you know what? We have resources to burn. And for once, Ishmael is going soon.
대체가 약화되는 것 같습니다. 종원, 조명이 전멸하는 저곳으로 파도가 모든 것을 쳐부술 거다.
Incidentally, maybe I started this thought and didn't finish it, or maybe I did start it and finish it, but ugh, where was I?
힘들군. 그러니 알아서 잘 피해야지.
So this team doesn't really switch out well. It doesn't have the so-called pivot that we had in the previous two teams. But it does have a solution for a problem. If you have an enemy group that's extremely resistant to blunt attacks, which is basically the only sort of damage you're going to deal, that's when you bring Sun Shower back into the fray. Because the thing is, Sun Shower should be enough damage to force them to the point where your other characters can start taking them apart. Stagger on the first hit, flatten them on the rest.
하나 마무리했습니다.
잠깐만, 천천히.
So, who's today's boss? Oh boy! This one's gonna make me pay for picking Tremor at the start. Oh boy, this is going to absolutely wreck Mersault. Out of everyone it had to be Mersault, huh? So we can't clash, we can use a defensive skill, but still, if you roll heads, then Mersault ain't coming. Mersault's gonna be staggered next turn, so the solution here.
다른 작업이 필요한가요?
지금 뭐 문제라도 수신.
아직은 이상.
Yi Sang has to take the 2 morale boost clashes. Ooh, actually, Sun Shower. It's possible that the 3 protection that he's giving out is going to help.
한바탕 해볼까?
이 스며들 듯한 비. 우산이 새진 않나 모르겠어.
내가 찾은 나만의 항해 방식.
Snag Harpoon isn't a particularly positive up-tie 4, but the thing is that when they rehauled all of the Zayn ego, I was actually I really missed the fact that it applied the Tremor on top of everything, so I went with that. Ooh, we busted your arm real good there. Actually no, Crow's Eye View so we get the haste and guarantee that Yi Seng's going to get that final step. The left arm is where all the tremor count is, that's important.
교전 시작합니다. 대체가 약화되는 것 같습니다.
이상이 무엇이라 생각하시오?
걸려라.
So we need to make sure that Force does not use metallic ringing because it will convert into an AoE and break the fairy wine barrel before we're ready. Wait, no, we need Yi Seng to clash this one as well. It's a shame that he's going last, but whatever. And most of your health bar is now gone.
이 구석구가 나의 폭력을 저지하기엔 턱없이 모자라지.
Granted, you got quite a bit of it back with that self-healing effect, but... And he explodes from the butterfly effect, so yeah.
익숙해지시는 게 좋을 겁니다. 아직 50일까지 많은 날이 남은 것을 파우스트는 알고 있으니까요.
For a run where I didn't get the ego gifts that I like to have on Tremor teams, I sure did a good job. Anyway, the other sort of ego gift you probably want to keep an eye out for are the ones that help with charge generation. The ones I kept seeing were for benefiting you from having high charge generation, and that wasn't what I needed. You need charge generation to help out Rose Spanner Rodian with her skills. Yeah, she needs +3 charge count to upgrade her skill 2, and although she gets 6 charge count on her skill 2, on her skill 3, the problem is, On Tremor Burst, spend 3 charge count to increase the stagger threshold raise by 40%, and then gain haste and blunt damage up next turn. So yeah, she needs skill 1 to feed her skill 2. But the other type of ego gift that I like to see in this are after hitting a non-staggered enemy with a gluttony or inflicting tremor potency with skill effects, randomly inflict a total of a certain amount of tremor potency between all enemies or abnormality parts. This number goes up quite a lot. Blood, Sweat and Tears maybe I should have started with because 15 to 30% damage is quite a bit. Nixie Divergence is great because it gives you starting tremor count, and hitting with Envy increases the tremor potency. But then there's also Oscillating Bracelet. When hitting an enemy with a skill, inflict tremor potency next turn. If the skill is Wrath, inflict more potency. And the thing is that this works very nicely with the people who manage to maintain their count over one turn, because then the tremor count never goes down unless a skill reduces it. Of course, you could always pick up Downpour. Inflict current turn count into 2 tremor inflict current turn count times 2 potency and true tremor count to all enemies. At the end of the turn, trigger burst all enemies. It's a tier 4 gift, so you never see it. But if you get it, it will boost your Tremor team so nicely. Anyway, next time on Let's Play Limbus, on this Limbus Company guide, we tackle the Rupture team. Until then guys, take care. I'll see you all around.
아직도 숙취가... 의뢰인가? 미안한데 사무소 안에 다른 사람한테 부탁...